Hello, 7th graders. This is Chapter 9-7, which is on interest. There are two types of interest that people are paid on money. One is called simple interest. This is the one you're probably more familiar with. I believe you've probably used the formula in the past. The formula says that I, which stands for interest, equals P times R times T. The P is a capital P and it stands for principal. That is the original amount that you have deposited in an account or that you have borrowed. R stands for the rate of interest, and we are back to working with a percent. In this case, it will be expressed as a decimal or a fraction. T stands for time, and it must be stated in years. So if they give you months, you are going to have to change that to years by dividing by 12, and in that case we usually use a fraction. Let's look at our first example. We are going to find the simple interest on $300 that will be borrowed for 3 years at an annual interest rate of 4%. Now, first of all, we write the formula. Interest equals principal times the rate times the time. We are going to calculate the interest. It says find the simple interest. That means I remains my variable. P stands for principal, which means the amount that you have either borrowed or put in the account. In this case, it's $300. R stands for the rate of interest, which is a percent expressed as a decimal or fraction. 4% will be put in at 0.04. T stands for time, and it must be in years. We are given years, so we're going to multiply that by 3. If you put that through your calculator, you will come up with $36. At this point, you please hit pause, and then I will show you how to do the problem. First of all, we want to write the formula. I equals PRT. We're finding the interest, so that will remain our variable. Our principal is $220. Our rate of interest is 5%, which again, we make sure we put into the formula as a decimal. And 4 years, we do have years given to us, so we will be okay there. Then using a calculator to put that to do the math for us, we will come up with a simple interest amount of $44. Most of the time though, in real life, as they like to say, we are going to be working with compound interest. Now, compound interest is a type of interest that occurs if you have a savings account at a bank or on a mortgage. The interest is going to end up being paid on the original principal, and if you leave any interest in the account, and we have a different formula for that. What happens here is that we don't really find the amount of interest, we will find what is in the account, and we call that the balance. We take the principal, P still stands for principal, times 1 plus R, where R stands for the rate of interest. It will be expressed as a decimal. And this time we're going to use our power key, which for most of you is this. That's if you have that Roman numeral 2 XS calculator. If you have a 30XA, you're going to be looking at Y to the X key. We're going to take 1 plus that decimal, and using the power key, we will put in the time as an exponent. And again, note that your time is in years. Let's look at an example of how this is used. Suppose you deposit $5,000 in an account that pays 3.75 interest. Look for this word, compounded annually. That's your clue that you need to find. Use that second formula. And you'll also notice that they're not going to tell you the interest. To find the interest, they're going to tell you to find the balance. I'm going to write the formula. Now I'm going to do the substituting. Okay, I'm going to find the balance. My principal is $5,000. 1 plus 0.0375. Yes, this is where you have to go back to being able to get from a percent to a decimal. That's why it's so important to really learn how to do that. You move the decimal point 2 places to your left, and we're going to go to the 9th power for 9 years. Now there's a couple of different ways to do this. You could, in the calculator, put in the left parenthesis key, then 1 plus 0.0375, and then the right parenthesis key. Then I believe you have to put the power key. I think I skipped that. You have to put the power key in there, times 9, and then 9, and then times 5,000. Or what you can do is do this in your head, and that's what I do. Because really it's not that hard, it's just 1.0375. Then I use that power key, 9, and then my X and 5,000, and I'm going to get an equal sign, and press my equal sign. You will probably have to round off because these seldom turn out evenly. And since it's money, we're going to take it to the nearest cent. $4,943. Oops, I'm looking at the wrong example. I'm sorry. I'm ahead of myself here. Okay, $6,964.07. And again, we round to the nearest cent because we're working with money. All right, let's look at example 2, and rather than have you hit pause, since I kind of screwed up on the last one, I'll go through it with you. Okay, our formula. Balance equals the principal times 1 plus R, that's your rate of interest, raised to the number of years time. All right, our principal here is $3,000. 1 plus, okay, 4.25% is going to be 0.0425, and we're going to raise it to the 12th power. Now here again, what I would do is put 1.0425 into the calculator, then your power key, then 12, then times 3,000, and press equals. And here's where you get the 4,943.49. Now sometimes they are going to give you your time in months. The truth is, though, we need years. So, and I know there's no notes on this. This is something I'm adding because they will ask you to do this on the assignment. So I don't know if you have a little room at the bottom of page 2 there. Maybe you can slide this in. Let's say that they give you 8 months. All right. We're going to take 8 divided by 12, and that is going to reduce to 2/3. And this is where we're going to use our fraction key when we put it in to our calculator. Let's say that they tell you 9 months, which is kind of common. Okay, 9 months is 9/12, which is 3/4. Now this one, we can use 0.75. If they use 6 months, what would you use? Yes, 0.5, because it's half a year. What if they used 18 months? We are going to take 18/12. You know that a 6 is a very common factor here in this particular one. So you're going to get 3/2, which is going to be 1.5 years. Okay, so there is a section on the assignment that will give you time in months. You're going to have to convert those over to years. Now, of course, if you have a question on that when you get to the assignment, you can always ask me. And that concludes lesson 9-7. Catch you next time.